I hope you're ready.
This is Unbridled Thoughts.
We want to hear what you have to say.
Welcome back to Unbridled Thoughts. I'm Sarah.
And I'm Ren, so you better grab the mane because there's no reins in Unbridled Thoughts.
All right. Well, today we have some fun. Yes, we have a mother-daughter double duo. I was going to say trio.
I don't think a third was in there.
Maybe our other personalities.
Where's the other one? I'm putting myself right into the family. That's it.
They're like, we had to get rid of that one.
Yeah. We don't talk about her.
Oh, no. Don't get us started. Don't get us started. It's all good.
All right. Well, we're just going to go straight into the first question.
Who are they?
Oh, who are they? Dude, we already had a whole conversation, okay? We brought in a fake child and everything, okay? We're good. Ren, you introduce them since I can't get my life together today.
So today we have Jana and Debbie, and they are a mother-daughter duo. And Chris and I have known them for a while. And they've been clients and longtime friends. And Chris has done both their hair, and they're both just accomplished artists in basically the greater Georgia area, but all over. You guys have shown all over. So,
I guess that's it.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm local to Perry now, and I show in Macon and get up to Atlanta when I can, and Mom's in Atlanta mostly.
Yeah, so, I lived here, and when Jana was just a little bitty girl, and I always wanted to, explore art, and when we moved to Atlanta in 2017, I decided that would be my breakout year, and so that's when I started pursuing it, and I quit my full-time job in physical therapy.
That's awesome.
So I keep my license active just because it was too hard to get that degree,
Yeah.
and but I'm never going back. Can't make me. But yeah, I show in Atlanta, and we both are full time at it now. So
And galleries
it's great.
where?
Yeah,
All
so
over?
I have some galleries, and that was probably the highlight. Was when I was contacted by a gallery. I was actually kind of stalking a little bit. You look at these beautiful galleries, and you're like, oh man, that's just like, it fits my work, and they reached out to me on Instagram, and I'm thinking, is this a mistake? Did they accidentally, is this for real? And it was just, that was probably the highlight when that started. And then I entered some competitions with them and won some other contracts, and just, so I'm just kind of in about 5 galleries, and it's still, it's, if they're not selling, it's still not great. So you have to kind of constantly analyze kind of where you are and where your art's heading, because it's constantly changing.
Yeah.
All the time.
We hear people say, don't be afraid to do it. Just post the work or post the video, or don't be afraid to reach out. So do you find that that's true? Like,
Oh my goodness, that's a whole nother conversation. So when I first did it, it was like, God, I've got to start posting. I've got to do this. And you just have to say whatever,
Yeah.
Some people are going to love it. Some people will think it's trash. You just have to want it so bad with every part of your body. You just have to want it, and you just have to think, this is who I am. This is how I paint. You have to sit in your discontentment with it at times because you're not where you want to be, but you just have to do it. And it's amazing because people see you differently than how you see yourself and your art. It's always wild, when they, oh, you're so good and y'all are so famous, and I'm not famous, I'm not, it's just, but yeah, it's hard to put it out there. It's very vulnerable because it's really personal, and you're painting things that are, emotional sometimes, and you have to really want to tell a part of it. You want to tell a story about your art, and that can be hard because you're just exposed.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. You are exposed. And then you're like, hey, everybody, look at me being exposed. And you're supposed to want to do that? No, that's not natural for anybody. Yeah, over and over again. Yeah.
We're getting a little feel for it with starting the podcast. You know what I mean?
Oh,
because
I can't imagine.
I never in my life thought I would be behind a microphone. I never liked my voice. I've never, you know what I mean? I'm shy. I'm not the first one out in the crowd just like entertaining people. That's not me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So doing this whole thing, and then every time we put out an episode, every time I'm like, you're putting your baby out there. Like, I'm sure you feel the same way. Every painting you put out, you're like,
Yeah.
how is this going to be received, you know?
It's just, it's cringe. You cringe,
Best
you
way,
know?
yes.
And I remember, like, I've done it, and I'm sure, I don't know if Jana's done it or not. I think every artist may have, I know I have. I'll post something, and I'm like, 5 minutes later, I delete it.
No.
I have
Don't do
done it.
it.
I'm like, I'm not finished with that yet, and it's just, you're your own hardest critic.
You are your worst critic.
But yeah, it's hard to put that out there. But
It
then
is.
when you get someone that responds to it, especially early on, they would message me privately or whatever and say, "God, I really love this work." It would be like a designer or somebody. I'm like, "Oh, and that's the one that I was almost didn't post."
Yeah.
So it just taught me a lesson. Like, just don't care. Just try to just do it, because there's going to be somebody that might
Like it.
love it. And
Well, some of our episodes that I'm like, this is one of the worst episodes. People are like responding the best to it. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
it's hard. It's
You
not
never
easy.
know. Or sometimes you're like, oh my gosh, this is going to be this is going to be a hit. And then you're like, oh, nobody downloaded it. What the heck?
Yeah, it's like, oh, I didn't get enough likes. Like,
Yeah.
what the heck? People?
Yeah, what is happening?
I even told a story with this one.
Yes.
It's hard.
So,
But-
I mean, this isn't part of the questions, but I'm going to sidestep a little bit. Does all of your art have a story, or?
A story. Well, I mean, that might be different for you, Mom, than for me. A lot of times, my art is based on like emotions and trying to connect with the people that are looking at my art, and just trying to get what's inside of me that's really confusing and all tangled up onto a canvas and untangled. And that's how I communicate. I don't like writing. I don't like any of that. That's how I communicate. And so for me, it's more like, okay, I painted this, and a lot of times I don't know why I did it. And then afterwards you sit with it and you look at it, and then you title it. And a lot of times that's when I'll start to really reflect on what I painted. And I'm trying to write more, and I'm trying to journal more about that. But sometimes it does. And one of my paintings recently, talking about the like putting yourself out there thing when you don't think people will like it, the painting that I posted when I was in France that I did of the woman flicking a bird at the viewer, basically,
Yes.
I was really nervous to post that. I almost didn't show it at all. And as soon as I think it was easier to share it because I was in a different country.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't care who these people are. Like, they're not around me right now. I am totally apart from
Free.
the world of social media right now, so I can just post this and forget about it. And then I come back to it, and it has blown up. And people are asking me for prints, and people are asking me for... And a lot of these people are from my small town of Perry, Georgia, where I thought was this very... kind of conservative demure community, and there's all these people that connected with it, and I'm like, damn, that's cool,
Yeah.
like I was so scared to do that.
Yeah.
And like that's what happens when you step outside of your comfort zone.
I don't think we can preach it enough, but it's like really coming true. It's like people are really craving like authenticity and bravery. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I think we're just so over like the cookie cutter lives and the cookie cutter wives and the cookie cutter kids, and you know what I mean? Like the cookie cutter marriage. I think we're just really like, no, we all have a freak side. We all have these emotions on the inside of us. Like, let it show. Like, you know what I
Let
mean?
your
We don't-
freak flag fly.
Exactly.
And I love that piece in particular because her features are so softened that you really could easily project yourself onto her. And then it's so often you see an image of somebody like flipping the bird out of anger or out of just like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, it'll come to me later after this. But to see her, she's so free. So it kind of is almost like a breath, like an exhale versus.
That's how it felt painting it. Yeah. I needed that to just be out of me.
Yes.
It was.
Yeah.
That's how it felt.
What about you, Debbie?
I
Like,
think that the more I paint, the more I realize that it's really, for me, it's about painting what I feel. Some days I'm sad, some days I'm happy, some days I'm so mad about injustices or whatever's going on in the world at the current time. But it's also about just painting to paint. Like, it's the process, I think, that gets me. It's the paint itself. It's the whole act of painting and what happens and you responding to what's on the canvas. That's what keeps me coming back. But it's, your influence. People always say, what influences you as an artist? Where do you get your inspiration? I'm getting out of the shower today. I was thinking about this podcast. It's so funny. I'm looking at my robe, and it's this black robe with floral print on. I'm like, oh God, look how that pink lays on top of that black.
Yeah.
And you know, you're thinking about, and I'm creating this painting in my head already, and I've added some birds, and now I'm like, it's just this constant
It just kinda
reel
comes
that
to you,
goes,
yeah.
And you know, it's sometimes a curse because you can't turn it off. But
Yeah.
it's just, you're either, you know, I think both of my parents were just so creative. And I think I just got that from them, and then it's just who you are. Either you kind of have that or you don't. I think all people are creative. It's just how you show it
How
to
you
the world.
create. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's true.
But it's important for me, just because I'm such a feeler, to paint things that are important. You know, I paint a lot about motherhood, and that's just a big thing for me. Like, I've always wanted to be a mom, and so there's a lot of feelings that go with that, and there's a lot of, you know, when your kids leave and you're empty nested, you know, that's a lot. So, you know, I painted different, you know, things like that, but it's also, you know, how people interpret it. It could be, people say they see all kinds of different things in, you know, like a mother-daughter painting that I do, and they think about their own mom, or they just lost their mom, or, you know, and I paint for my mom, because I paint this little beehive lady. I don't know where it came from, but I kept painting this little updo and all of the women, and I'm like, it dawned on me, I have a picture of my mom sitting there in this beautiful dress that she had made in the Philippines when they were stationed over there. And I have the dress shadow boxed, and she's sitting there with her hair in a beehive, you know, all done
That's
up.
so
teased. And I
funny.
thought, that's probably where I get it from.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't even realize that I was doing it.
That's so
I
cool.
saw that painting for the first time, and I told Mom, I was like, "Oh, you painted me." She said, "No, that's me and my mom." I was like, "Okay,
Yeah, thanks. It could be you, but it's really
that's what
it's
I
really my mom.
interpreted."
So you said she was artistic as well?
Oh yeah. When I was little, I think I was like 9, and there was a coloring contest in the local paper. I think it was the Macon Telegraph, actually. And we entered, and we both won in our age divisions.
Oh my gosh,
And I
that's
think
so
she was
cool.
I don't know. She may have been in her 50s.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Isn't that weird?
Did she pursue art in any way? No.
She was just a homemaker, but she did work in her early married life. But she was just so creative. She made paper flowers for the house. They didn't have much money, so she would just decorate every occasion. Had streamers and homemade things, and you know, Betty Crocker all the way. You know,
Oh, I
she
love
just,
that.
You know, Charles Chips, you know, cans. That was the base for the floral arrangement. You know, and all of our birthday parties were themed, and you know, who could make the most creative animal out of gumdrops or whatever, you know, and so
That's cool.
I got it honestly, and then my
That's what
dad
I-
was totally the same. He was
That's
so
what I think I
creative.
remember most about both of them. They were so encouraging of my creativity
Right.
growing up, and I know you can say the same growing up with them.
Oh, yeah.
Because they kept me a lot. You know, when you were working full time,
Yeah.
and I'd stay over there in the summers with them, and I mean, they were just always encouraging me to just create.
That's
And what
awesome.
can you make today, Jana? Here's a box and a carton, an egg carton that's empty. Like, what can you make? It's just cool.
Mom would ask me, "What does Jana want for stocking, or what does she want for for birthday?" I'm like, "Just get her a bunch of Scotch tape. Like, get like 10 rolls of Scotch tape, and the kid will be happy." And I'll go over there to pick them up, you know, after working, and she's got this tower built, you know, that's got a working elevator or whatever, you know, which is her engineer side of her
Yeah.
brain.
Yeah, I've retired that side.
Yeah. I don't know where you got that from.
How many kids do you have?
Two girls.
Two girls. Okay, cool. I only know about Jana. Because
Yeah,
of
and the
her
other
art,
one,
but that's-
Taylor, she's in Minnesota. She has 3 kids. She has one on the way.
One on the way in
Yeah, and she
October.
says, I can't draw. I didn't get any creativity from
I think she could. I think she could if she tried.
Yeah. But
but you know, some
she's
people just don't
supportive,
want to.
And yeah, but she's like, gets free paintings out of it.
I love
she
it.
is so
For her
supportive.
house. But yeah, I love painting her kids. They're sweet.
Yeah.
So did you both? You obviously grew up in this area. Did you grow up in this area as
I
well?
grew up in Florida until I
Okay.
was 10, then we moved here to
Okay.
Warner Robins.
Wow.
So yeah, I had a different childhood. I grew up on the water, and just amazing childhood.
And it
So,
must have been hard to move here, and then you're
Yeah,
like,
it was very hard. I'm like,
I mean,
what is this
it's
red
dead
clay
now.
stuff? And what are these gnats? And what are these squirrels?
Yeah.
It was like foreign, but I was spoiled. And so a lot of my artwork is influenced by the coast. And like one of the galleries, Robert Kent Galleries that I'm in Marietta, he goes to the coast like every 3 months or so. And so he'll he'll sell my stuff every time he goes because it's just, I always do beach scenes or spoonbill paintings. They're this pink bird. The funny thing is I've never even seen this bird in person.
Oh, really?
I've seen the bird at the zoo, but I've never seen it. And every time he takes them, he sells them. And, there was a little bit of a struggle with painting to sell, too. And I know we can talk about this more, but it's like that commerce side versus the paint for yourself, what you want to say. And, my husband's like, paint more birds. And they sell. But,
The husbands, they think they're the managers.
You do have to, like,
They do.
Chris
can't see it, but Chris is just like,
Chris doesn't get a microphone this episode.
I know, but you want to paint what sells. At the same time, you have to be true to yourself. So you do have to balance kind of. So I think of different ways to paint the spoonbill. So I've gone from impressionism to abstraction. So I'll take the bird and I'll abstract it and I'll just have fun with it. So that makes me happy. I'm not just painting to reproduce the same thing. I can't. I just get too bored.
yeah.
And I'm too curious. I want to explore more.
That answers a question I've
Subjects.
always had because we've talked to other people that are artistic or are creatives, and we've heard before, I love to do it for me, but then when I start to do it for somebody else, sometimes I can fall out of love with it, and I'm always like, oh, and I was trying to relate to that, but you just verbalized it so beautifully the way you just said that.
It's a struggle for artists because you want to make money.
Yeah.
I mean, you do. And that's hard because you're constantly looking at what did the designers like. And I have a gallery in Michigan. It's a great gallery, Art Leaders Gallery. It was one of the ones that I won in that show that I entered, and that was another highlight because it's a really great gallery, some great artists in it, and they like gray couches up there, but it's a different, and I'm a colorist, so I paint with a lot of color, and that's hard because I'm constantly thinking about neutrals mixed in with my color. So you're constantly kind of running through your head about the commerce side of it in some ways. But if you allow yourself to have, okay, this painting I'm working on, I'm not going to think about anything but what I want to paint, or I'm reacting to the canvas. But over here, I might paint a spoonbill. So it's just it's a balancing act as far as trying to paint for others and the industry and painting for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And that's tough, I think. As you get into the career more, it's harder.
What art show is that you were talking about?
So it's called ADC.
Okay.
It's a ADC Art Dealers Consulting in Cincinnati, Ohio. But the show is called ACA Art Comes Alive, and they do it every year. And it's this beautiful gallery. It's like 30,000 square feet, gallery. And it was the first gallery I got into. And they have a competition every year. And so I entered it and won the first gallery contract, and then the next year I entered it, won one. The next year I won one, and it was like,
get it? That's
and I was like,
awesome.
oh my God, pinch myself. And so then my streak broke. But I went with a friend and supported her, and it's just a lot of fun. It just gives you exposure.
Yeah.
Otherwise those galleries wouldn't have seen me.
Mm-hmm.
So you just have to constantly put yourself out there.
Yeah.
Just do everything. Say yes to everything. Unless you just can't do it, don't do it.
Yeah.
Refer it to a friend. Like, portraiture, I'm not going to paint a picture of you straight on,
Yeah.
I have a friend that gives me commissions. He goes, I know you don't like frontals. I'm going to take a picture of my buddy from the back, and you can paint him. So, like, no, I don't do frontals.
And her nipples. We learned about that earlier.
I send them frontals to Jana.
Those full frontals.
Don't do those.
That's great.
There are limitations.
So, what inspired you to want to become an artist?
I always knew I wanted to be an artist. I mean,
Really?
when I was little, I remember in Catholic school I could still smell that paint. I don't know
Yeah.
what it was. What is it, tempera paint or something? Temper paint, whatever.
Yeah.
I can still smell
Lead
it.
base or something
Yeah,
like
it's
that, I
probably
think.
awfully poisonous to us. And I
the smell of the
remember loving it and just loving it from
Yeah.
that moment on. And I don't know, it just did something to me. I
Yeah.
always wanted to do it, but I didn't major in it.
Yeah.
Because then, back in the 80s when I graduated, it wasn't like it is now where you can get seen and exposed on Instagram or wherever like that gallery contacted me. You couldn't do that.
There was starving artists.
So I was I'm glad that I majored in physical therapy and had a good career and enjoyed that, and I liked helping people, and you know, and I always kind of tried to take some art lessons on the side and thought maybe one day. So, but it just, I don't know, it was just in me. And it was
Yeah.
always in Jana too. Like she always,
Yeah.
I could see it in her at an early age. You know, she's got natural talent, and then she took advanced art in high school, so she kind of had a little jump start on things.
I love it.
Picking the rain. I was like, what am I picking?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
we have
Yeah, it's, you
torrential
guys-
rain. So if you hear it, that's what you guys are hearing. What about you, Miss Dana?
Yeah, I mean, I think it is generational in our family.
I think so.
But I mean, yeah, mom kind of put paint and brushes and canvas in front of me at a really early age. So I grew up with it, and I always liked it. And then when I found out, oh, I'm kind of good at this, you know, you pursue it more. But I also really liked math, and I really liked problem solving and like Sudoku puzzles. And so I had these two sides of me like warring it out. And then I went to college, and I think my parents were threatening me at the time. You better get a degree that you can get a good job in, and if you want to be an artist later, you can do that. And so that's exactly what I did. I went and got a degree in engineering, of all things.
What part? What kind of what?
Mechanical.
The worst
Mechanical.
part.
The worst.
I mean,
I don't
know
think
why.
mechanical is the worst part, in my opinion.
It's all hard.
Because when I had to pass the electrical engineering guys, I would be like, that is a job I could never
I couldn't
do.
do
Like, I
electrical.
could not do it.
I had
could
to like
not.
flirt with the guy that was really
Oh my
smart in that
gosh,
class.
Yes.
I
I did that too.
That was
even
way
engineering,
harder
just-
in their labs. Like when we
Yeah.
had to pass, I was like, "Ooh, good luck, guys. Have fun with that."
Yeah.
It's really important for me to instill in both of them that they needed to be able to support themselves.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
be independent if they had to be.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
growing up, you're divorced,
I was
and I
divorced,
watched you support us, you know, by yourself for a while, and so that is something that I knew. It's like parents can tell you whatever you want, and you know, I was kind of a rebellious kid, and some kids don't listen, but I think because I'd seen that, and both my parents owned their own business and kind of picked themselves up from the bootstraps and, you know, made something of themselves, that encouraged me to want to do the same. And I think, and I know I can do it with art, but I'm at a very different place in my life now than I was, you know, however many years ago, 10 years ago. So I did do engineering for a little bit to put my husband through school. So I'm glad that I had that, because I could get a job wherever we moved when he was in school and residency and stuff. So I'm grateful for it.
Yeah.
But I'm also grateful that I can do art full time now.
Yeah,
so I
that's
quit
awesome.
my corporate job about a year and a half ago now.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's so
so-
exciting.
Yeah, it is exciting, but I have kind of watched Mom do her career and taken lessons. And, like I'm taking lessons from you,
Yeah.
watching your steps and kind of like, okay, well, I want to make sure that my goal is to get into galleries, but I want to know my art and know myself well enough before I do that, so that I don't get into a gallery with a painting that's not me, and then they keep asking for that.
I know.
And I'm like,
You just
wait,
switch
that's
galleries.
not.
Yeah,
I don't
like
want to.
it's hard to continue on with that journey
Yeah.
when that's not my journey.
Yeah,
It's-
but I need
it's
to just
peaking
do
too
it.
early.
Yeah,
But I need to just
exactly.
do
You just
it.
have to do it,
I just need
and
to
you
do
know,
it.
all artists change.
Yeah.
Your
Yeah.
art changes, and I beat myself up over it too. I'm like, oh, I need to be niching down. I'm all over the place, you know, because I like all these different things. But
You don't have to do that.
You just don't. You just go with it. and
It's not
just
that serious.
Don't make it that hard on yourself. I mean,
I tell
already.
myself that all the time.
It's
yeah.
not
Get
that
over
serious.
it. Like, just do it and don't worry about it. It'll happen.
I'm a
You know?
Gemini, so there's just no doing
Oh,
that.
girl, me too.
Yeah. I'm like, there's no niche. What are you talking about? I do it all.
I know, and you know, and then I'll express that on Instagram. I'll talk about it, and other artists will just message me, "Oh, you keep doing you. It's great," you know. And Jana will come over to my studio and she'll say, "But it all looks like you, Mom. I see
Yeah.
your hand in all of it." I'm like, "Okay."
So I'm sure you have a. It's just like Jana. I've only seen Jana's in real life, but you have a style. You
Yeah.
I
what
know, and
mean?
it's hard because
It finds you.
it does. I could
Yeah.
paint a house, or I could paint
can't
a
change
figure or a bird, and it all looks the same.
Yeah, I mean it's just your style
Yeah.
though, and it doesn't look the same because each page. I mean, I've never been one of those kind of people where I could go to an art gallery and like get emotional about it. And when I went and I was like actually getting emotional. I was like, I don't even know who this person is anymore.
That's awesome.
That's the highest compliment.
That makes me feel so accomplished as an artist.
But
really.
I mean, I'm also in a different journey myself, so it's like maybe that now I can appreciate things a little bit more. I don't know.
No, I think that's what it's about. I think it's about people's life and their struggles and what they've gone through,
Yeah.
and just knowing that you're not alone.
Yeah.
I might not be going through what you're going through,
Yeah.
but we could have similar emotions, or we could have,
Exactly.
just have some sort of connection through
Exactly. And that's exactly it. And that was like the whole point of this podcast is because you don't know who you're going to,
that. Yeah.
see yourself in and need that story to get you through the next phase in life. You know what I mean?
What's funny, you were talking about, does art always have to mean something? Well, it just made me, what you were talking about a minute ago reminded me of a show at here in two galleries in Atlanta, here, not Atlanta, at two galleries in Atlanta. Brian Rutenberg, he's an artist that I have been following, that's just a current day artist, and he just has guts to use the color in the magnitude that he does, and he just shares so much of his process. Anyway, he was at this show in person. He's in New York, and he's in the big gallery in New York, kind of like I see myself in him,
Yeah, I love this.
And I'm like, okay, he's using all this color. It's possible. It doesn't match a gray couch. I can do it. Anyway, I dragged my husband to the show, and love you, my husband, but it was not the. I could not appreciate this. I meet the guy in person, and I see these big, huge, humongous art pieces.
Yeah.
They're just so full of. I was emotional. I left there in tears, and I was not embarrassed because I was like, I was feeling the whole moment, and my husband was just he was just like, "Are you crying?" I'm like, did that not? Look at that color. So the texture is so thick. You can
Yeah.
It was just being in the presence of
Yeah,
that. I've
yeah,
seen it. I've never
yeah.
seen it in person.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
And
wild
and
you
didn't
say
mean
that.
Anything. It was just landscapes, but it was like
Yeah.
color ignites something.
Yeah.
I think somebody famous said that. I don't know who the artist
It
is.
really does.
It ignites something in
It
your
really
soul,
does.
for
And I
me.
mean, I feel like Jana really bears her soul when it comes to like what she paints.
She does.
I'm like looking at all this and I'm like getting like so emotional over it. I was like, dang.
It's very raw.
Yeah.
That's how I see it.
I know
we need to go to Atlanta and see your art too in person. I'm
Yes.
excited now because I saw some pictures and it looks so gorgeous.
Oh, I
But
think
you
it's
know what?
so
It's
beautiful in
not
person.
seeing it in person.
Oh, it's
like
different.
we just discussed that. It makes a
Oh,
huge
it's just
difference.
like you feel it. You're
'Cause
like
you
almost
have-
a part of it.
You paint with texture, and
Yeah,
I mean,
a lot of texture.
you got to get up close to your canvases, and they're so.
And so does he. He has
yeah.
a lot of texture. But yeah, you do have to see art in person.
yeah.
The high museums in Atlanta. I went by myself one day, and oh my gosh, this one artist, Pierre Bernard, I think his name is. He's a French artist, and I mean, the pictures would do it no justice. I mean, and it's just amazing. Like, and he was very kind of painterly, sketchy, almost like a cross between being expressive with his hand, and I mean, you could just see it from across the room, and it just draws you in.
That's awesome.
And so you just start kind of seeing, things that move you, and then you kind of
Yeah.
you gravitate to that,
Yeah.
whatever it is. But Jana's work is very moving.
It is. Yeah.
And it touches it speaks to a lot of people.
It did
Especially
me. Like I
women.
said, I was never one of those kind of people, and I was like, oh my gosh,
Now
I
you're-
didn't
now you're
expect
art
this.
Well, and I like how you use the word bears my soul, and my paintings bear all a lot of the time. And people ask me, they're like, why do you paint nude women? Like, why do they have to be nude? I'm like, well, they're not always nude, but also a story now that I have that I can tell people, maybe explain myself a little, not that I need to, but for them to understand. When I was at my residency, I had this group of women that I just got really close to, and one of them volunteered to sit for me, which was amazing because it's really hard to find models to sit for you and do live painting, which is what I prefer. And so one of them wanted to do it, and then we were at dinner, and the group of them decided they were all going to do a joint sitting session for me to paint in one of their studios. It was amazing.
Oh, that's cool.
And one of the women had just the previous year, she kind of been in and out of a hospital for just mental health and just weight issues and gaining weight and losing weight, and in and out of that hospital. And she had shared that with me earlier in the week, and I watched her volunteer to come sit almost fully nude for me, and as the process, like everybody started, like taking their tops off, and I could see she was a little hesitant, and I was like, whatever your comfort level is, like I'm here, we're all safe, like you don't have to do anything if you don't want to. And she ended up at the end of the session, she was so comfortable, like topless. We were watching White Lotus, and she was just so vibrant and so like proud of herself and like loving herself. And I was like almost in tears because I was like watched the
transition
of this woman.
I mean we've been like, I don't know. It's just like there is something about when you just like bear things. It's just like you're letting out your rawest moments, and when you can get. I mean, that's how we became good friends. You know what I mean? I mean, it was like our naked town story. I mean, you're just like, all right, well, here we are. You know what I mean? And we've been sisters ever since.
Episode 1 is how we like kind of connected. Was like we were really like in a raw, vulnerable place.
Yeah.
I haven't listened to that one. I've listened to some of the other ones. I haven't listened.
I'm not going to ruin anything.
I need to go listen to no. But yeah, it is. It's like, and it's allowing yourself to love yourself and to celebrate that in other people.
And then once you get to that point, like your muse, then she was strong and she was powerful. There was no stopping her after that, and I bet you in so many ways it's going to help her more than she could ever imagine. You know what I mean? And so what an inspiring moment, really. Yeah. So do you guys inspire each other with your art?
Yes.
Yes, all the time. Of course.
Right answer. Honestly, like it's so cheesy, but how can you not? I mean, like I said earlier, I've watched her and I watched her work her whole life and do something that was very sacrificial of herself, of being a physical therapist to these people that are in need, that need her and need someone who is caring and compassionate, because that's not always the case. Yeah. And so I watched that growing up, and then now she's blossoming into this amazing master artist and doing what she was born to do. And it's like, oh my gosh, like if she can do it, not that you're old, but you are my mother.
But I am in my last phase.
Yeah, well, if you can start then, like I just turned 30, like that's crazy, and I'm able to start now.
Absolutely,
that's so inspiring to me.
Debbie, you're beautiful. So
and she's beautiful.
And she's beautiful. Yeah, like on top of it.
And you saying that about my career, I think being a feeler, an empathetic person, I always made them come to my visits where I treated disabled kids or anything like that. I wanted them to be grateful, and I wanted them to think about others. And it's not about you, and don't complain. And okay, you're coming with me on my next visits, then you're going to see,
Yeah.
And so I hope that I instill that in them, and they can see other people and connect with them in whatever way. But
it will work, because I used to feed the homeless, and I take my kids to go feed the homeless, and my kids, for the most part, are very compassionate people.
We need that. We need more of that. And artists are very compassionate, very much feelers.
Yes.
So we're surrounded by that, but that's sweet of you to say that. We inspire each other, because I remember. I don't know where that piece is. I think I give it back to you. But there was a piece she did actually in high school of these Ugandan orphans that stayed at our house. We hosted 15 of them at our house. It was the craziest week ever. Ever.
It was a choir. They were going around the States.
We actually were on the verge of, my husband and I actually wanted to adopt one of them at the end of this. And he wanted to be a lawyer like my husband. It was just very moving, emotional. And anyway, she painted 2 of them in our shower. They had soap suds all over their face, and she etched it. What'd you do?
Etching.
She was etching it out on a blackboard, so she etched them from the board.
Wow.
And I remember I could just look at that and think, how could you do that? That's just amazing. It was so moving, because it meant more than just a painting that she did of these kids. Yeah. They were so excited to have these suds. They didn't have soap.
Yeah.
And she just captured it beautifully.
That's amazing.
Such a beautiful moment. It's making me tighten my throat,
I know.
I can see it right now.
Just hearing him talk about everything.
Give it back.
Where it is.
Oh my goodness.
But so we, the other day I called her and I said, we talk every day in the morning.
Every day.
So it's so nice, we've bonded over it more. And
well, let me caveat, we're the exact same person. So growing up, we butted heads
for a little bit.
Okay. We butted heads all the time. But I mean, that's just a girl and her mom.
Yeah.
But now, we talk every day, and Sometimes it's about art, sometimes it's not.
But you see each other on a different level as artists, you know, mom and daughter, but now you see each other kind of in a different, more soulful way.
Yes, yeah.
It's kind of, it's neat to see, you know, what she does and how she's doing it, and I applaud her for just putting it all. She just dove in, you know. It took me a few years to kind of get the gumption to. I took lessons. I had mentors. You know, I didn't like go out there right away. She just like, okay, I'm here.
I'm doing it.
I've arrived. I'm like,
for better or worse.
You know, so that takes a lot of guts to do that.
Yeah. I think sometimes though, when we're a little bit older, we think things have to be done a certain way. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then
perfect timing.
Yeah. And the little wild child comes out, and she's like, "Here it is." And you're like, "Wait, how is that so darn good?"
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not losing that. That's the hard part.
Don't lose it.
I really, when she tells the story about when she was younger and we painted together, and I kept correcting her because it wasn't correct. It wasn't right. You know, she used the wrong color or whatever. It's kind of funny to think back on that now. But I really want us to do a canvas together, like shared canvas.
I was thinking, I was like, you know what? We missed our opportunity. We should have done a couple things. One is we could have all gotten a little tiny canvas, and we could have like started it and passed it on to see like what was gonna, like how it ended up.
I love that. Hey, we can still do that.
You know, one of the classes I took in Atlanta, the instructor Deanna Toma, I think her name was, she had great watercolors. She had a big easel set up, and everybody in the class had to go by and make a mark.
Yes.
And so then they'd mess up your mark, you know, left or right, and then somebody behind me would just cover it up. And it taught you early on, like, you know, your marks are not precious.
Yeah.
And the sooner you learn that as an artist, you know, it's just paint.
Well, and then at the same time, I think it also teaches you that it's like nothing is completely permanent. Because I think for me anytime I think about me painting, I think, oh, well, if I was to do that, like, I think I would try to, my Virgo would come out, you know, and I would be like, no, it's got to be like all perfect. But no, it just teaches you that, no, you could keep on building.
And it's never finished.
And that's art.
It's never finished.
Like, she called me this weekend and she was like, I've got this crazy idea. I'm not going to say what it is.
That's what I started to say.
She's like, I have this crazy idea. I want this to mean this. And this is what I'm thinking. Like, and I was like, just do it. Just do it.
Like, are you going to tell me what it is? I'm like, okay.
I was like, are you going to just tease
really
me with
kind
that?
of out there, though, you know? And
but she was saying, well, I don't want it to look weird. And
we're getting this. We got to get this inspiration after the. Once we turn off this podcast, I want the whole story.
You'll get the whole story.
I was like, Mom, do you know how many empty canvases you have in your house right now? Like, just do it. And if it doesn't work, you don't have to show anybody.
I have learned that over and over again.
I know, but we forget it all the time.
That artist that I brought up, he says that he destroyed like 60% or 50% of his canvas.
Yeah.
Thought, oh wow. And that looks like was a light bulb that went off. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
This sucks. I can totally scratch this
I can
canvas.
scratch it. It doesn't have to be.
Why am I trying to redo and make it sell or whatever?
It's like the iceberg, you know. You only see the
get
tip.
rid of it.
The rest, everything that's under the water is
never
all
see
of
the
our
struggle.
scratch paintings.
They think, you know, people think that artists sit down and just create these beautiful paintings. It doesn't work like that. No.
So do you guys see each other's style in each other's painting? Like, because you guys have your own style, but do you see?
I think so.
Mostly in the color.
In the color, yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say color.
We're both very
color.
into color. Yeah. Which, you know, a great couch. You don't have to coordinate with the color. You just slap a really colorful painting over top of it. It looks great.
It is funny though.
To all you designers out there listening.
Okay, there go all the designers. Oh well, you know, it's you know, it's funny because I had something I did. I had some abstract figure. Mine are more liney, sketchy kind of. I don't fill in the body as much as she does, but she said, well, that looks like the figure I painted or my reference. I'm like, no, it's not.
I don't even remember that.
It was something, maybe your one that was against the wall with her feet. I can show you my reference. It's not the same.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I'm going out of my way not to. And that's kind of the other side of it. Like, I want to go out of my way not to emulate her or anybody else, and especially her, you know, like, so it's just constantly.
I can kind of relate to that because when I was deep in my trauma, my crazy brain, to release it, would start writing stories, you know what I mean? And I used to be an avid reader, but now I'm like, I can't read because you don't want to steal any ideas.
Yeah, an artist that I know, she had said one time, it's, you know, it might seem offensive at the time, but unfollow the artists that you like on social media.
Yeah.
Or if you find yourself looking at someone too long or someone's art too long, like just unfollow them for a little while and figure out, like, is that actually you, or are you just seeing a lot of it and it's just in your subconscious?
Yeah.
I look at what do I like about them. What is it that draws me into them? This is how I dealt with that, because I was doing that so much early on. And I'm like, why are they succeeding? Like, what is it? And I follow, how do they do things? How did they handle this situation? How did they handle, like, in a painting? And I'll go back and I'll study it, and I'll go, okay, this is what they did. Not copying it, you know, but you're learning. You're taking. All artists are thieves. They take what they like from everybody. I mean, heck, you know, Vincent Van Gogh, and I mean, we're all doing it.
I mean, even with what we do, you know, we have
know.
our inspiration, you know.
But you just have to take away and then put it away.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
I was going to just say that art, you were talking about, you know, do we see each other's art in ourselves? I think that your art is uniquely you and nobody else is you.
Yeah.
But if there's anybody else on this planet that is me, it's my mother.
I know.
And so I feel like there's just an element of our art that's going to be similar, because if
no
we're
matter
true to
what.
ourselves, then it's going to probably be similar.
And we care about the same things.
Yes.
Deeply. And
Yeah.
we are passionate people, and we do see things, you know, on the same level.
Yeah.
And so the things that matter to me matter to her.
Yeah.
So we kind of paint that out sometimes too.
But our art is so different.
But it is different.
It's different.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen
it's
yours
cool.
in person,
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
I've
it's
seen
totally
yours.
different.
Yeah.
I mean, it's different, but I do see a little similarity. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's really exciting.
Especially for painting at the same place. You know, we went to Italy and we had this
Yeah.
great workshop, and I can see Jana. We're plein air painting, so we're painting outside of this beautiful countryside. It's just
Yeah.
gorgeous. And my ADHD brain is over here just looking at the landscape, can't even concentrate on painting. And I'm looking at Jana over here, and she's all going to town. And I'm like, God, I can't watch what she's doing. And then I see, oh, she's using purple, you know, like whatever.
Yeah.
And it's like, you can't, you know.
You guys need to collab,
Can't
though.
do that. Yeah,
you
I
guys
do
should
wanna
like
do
keep
that.
talking
You
about
guys
that.
should set up
I
like
want to have a
a.
mother-daughter
Yeah.
show one day.
You
That'd
guys
be
should
cool.
like that would be
Yeah,
so
it's
much
gonna happen.
fun.
Yeah.
I'm claiming it. It's
Manifest
gonna happen.
it. We're doing it right now.
Oh yeah, we're
manifesting.
manifesting this.
Yeah.
I want
I'm
to
the
see
queen of
this. I don't
manifesting.
care where I have to go. I will go to see this. Okay,
It is going to happen.
For advertisement for both of you guys, it'd be really cute if you guys like set up one of those like time lapse videos, and then you guys stood there painting on the same canvas, like crossing over each other.
Yeah,
and,
like,
you know
why
what I
did you
mean?
do
Like
Yeah. That'd be really cool.
that would be so much
It would
fun.
be so interesting.
We'd have to have some ground rules.
no rules. You can
No
erase the other's
rules,
mark.
wild
It doesn't matter.
child.
You just have to go with what you feel. It'd be so
No
cool.
talking.
Just let the music.
talking,
Yeah,
no
really good
laughing.
music.
Just good music.
Yeah, I see that in the future.
Yes, that'd be awesome. And when you just brought up Italy, was that when you did the chateau?
That was different.
Yeah,
So-
that was in France, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Last year, Mom and I went to
Umbria.
Umbria, Italy, and we did this. It was a 10-day plein air workshop, and so that's just painting
was
outside.
amazing.
And so we had an instructor who like taught us everything he knew about painting outside.
He would critique and he gave
Yeah.
a lesson.
Yeah, and I love plein air painting. I think for me it's just a mindset. It's like meditative.
I don't love it as much as she does because, like, you know, it's got to be the perfect environment for me. It's got to be mid-70s, no bugs, no wind, no,
lives
no
in the
cold. I've
South.
done it where my hands were freezing and I'm like, why am I out here doing this stupid thing right now?
So that invigorates me.
I'm like, go home and paint in your studio. Take a picture. I do enjoy it, but I don't enjoy it like she does. I do it, but
yeah, that's what that was about, and we had the best time
It was
and loved
a
that.
trip of
And
a
then
lifetime,
Chateau Orcovo was in France, and that
Yes.
was March to April. So I was there
Yes.
for 3 weeks.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about that. Was there a moment during that time there where the surroundings or the history of that place, like, kind of channeled into your art at all?
Oh yeah, I mean, it did in my plein air work that I did there because I wanted to focus on my studio practice, which is my figurative work, but I love plein air painting and I knew I was going to be in this beautiful place, and so I made sure to take my outdoor setup. And so I'd go out in the morning a lot of time and do plein air painting, and I mean it would just be like a 4x6 gouache piece or something, and then I had a couple oil pieces that I did. And so that kind of got me out of my head and just put me in the place and really like in tune with the setting and the nature. And then when I got to my studio, it was the people that inspired me. Because I was there with 23, 24 other artists. I didn't know anybody, and now I talk to these people every single day. So it was amazing. But it's a residency that is like top 5 most beautiful residencies in the world. I applied on a whim last year, and I was like, if I don't do this now, like, I don't know when I'm going to do this. You know? I don't think I'm ready. I don't think I'm deserving. I don't think, like, why do I get to do this? But I was like, I'm just going to apply. The worst that can happen is they say no.
Yeah.
Like, this doesn't cost me anything but my time. And so I, sent in my application, found out I got in, and like less than 18% of applicants
That's a great
get in.
residency. Yeah, some really good artists get in there.
So excited.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was like dream, bucket list, amazing. And then I went like 2 months later. So I had hardly any time to prepare, which is good for me because I didn't get time to be in my head and get anxious about it. And then I went and traveled by myself and took a train and a plane and got there, and half the staff only spoke French, and we weren't anywhere near like a grocery store or anything. We were just in this remote little tiny village in East France, like 4 hours outside of Paris, and it was just life-changing.
Wow.
That sounds incredible.
It was.
It does sound incredible.
It was. I'm not gonna lie.
The food was amazing, right?
The food was amazing.
great.
Yeah.
I think I have a whole post just about like the apricot tart that was there.
I love some of the photos you posted too. They were
I have
incredible.
so many. I need to. I think
swans.
I want to
Yes.
do like a slideshow at my show
Oh
this
my gosh,
Saturday.
that'd be
Yeah,
awesome.
just the pictures because I have so many. It's so hard to share all of them.
Yes.
Yeah.
For both of you, would you say that Italy and France have inspired you the most? Like, do you have a favorite place like that has inspired your work?
Gosh,
I mean, who doesn't love Italy?
Italy's just beautiful.
I mean, obviously, I think, like I said, France changed me, but a lot of that is due to the people that I met there. Period.
Yeah.
And I think we were able to have that connection because of the place that we were in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Italy was inspiring, but I don't think it was a pivotal moment like yours was, because you were isolated.
Well, it was a
just
longer
with
period of
painting.
time.
But yeah, I mean, all beautiful places are so inspiring. I mean, and it's more so the people that we got to meet, and just friends that you'll have forever. And the same thing happened. We went to California recently with this place called Woodward Contemporary that just opened in San Diego, and man, the ladies that we met there, like I could call them tomorrow and I could go stay at their places wherever they live.
So cool.
And just, I got more from that than I did the class itself.
That's me.
Like,
I love
listening to
making
their-
deep connections
their
with
life
even with
story.
strangers like that. I love
They're
it.
one lady. I mean, they're getting divorced at 80, and starting her life. Like she sees herself as young,
Yeah.
and she's having a show coming up. I mean, it's just so.
I
cool.
see her as young.
Yeah, I see her as young. She's
Amazing.
a little whippersnapper. To me, she's
Strong women.
Full of,
That's what they were. A lot of strong women. And, you can there are strong women in my life here, locally, but then you go out into the world and you step outside of your bubble, and that's just so healthy.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, it
everybody
is.
needs,
It
you don't
is.
have to go to California or Italy to do that. Just stepping outside of your bubble, going to places that you don't normally go, take a road trip to somewhere, go do the class, it's worth it. Meeting those people.
talking
People
to
are,
God, their stories are so interesting.
yeah.
They really are.
And
yeah.
and it makes your troubles, whatever they are. Sometimes you think they're big and
Yeah.
you live in them. You just see the other side, and
Yeah.
Or to just know you're not alone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just a
Yeah.
feeling of community, and that every experience you have, I think, comes through your art in one way or another. You may not know it, but it does.
Yeah.
It's that what's the word? Cumulative. Cumulation. Cumulation. No, it's a cumulative
Debbie, you have to
effect.
break it down.
Edit that out, Chris. It's the
Debbie, I understand 100%.
cumulative effect. Thank you
It's
very
our
much.
artist brain. That's what we'll blame it on.
Yeah, of all of your life experiences coming together, and just you never know when they're going to come out, but they do
Yeah.
somehow.
Yeah, I think like meeting together with people, not even like-minded, just other people with no agenda, and just finding a common passion, even if it's something small or something big, it really makes you feel less alone in the world.
Yeah.
And it really reminds you that you're not just in some little
Right.
black box, alone in your story.
Yeah, it
It's
takes
really
the weight.
cool.
It makes it a little lighter. You know.
I always say too, you talk about people that you might not have something huge in common with. People that you think you disagree with or you don't get along with. Like if you just sit down, I always say you can't hate people up close. I think actually Brene Brown said that, but I live by it. And you can't. It's really hard to hate people when you get up close to them and like talk to them. Everybody has a past. Everybody has somewhere that they're coming from that made them who they are, and just understanding. You can still disagree with them, you know. Most of the time you still do, but you can just hate a little less.
But we all want the same things.
Yeah.
We do all want the same thing.
Safety, love, happiness, peace. I mean, you know, like at the end of the day, we're all the same.
We just have to take different journeys to get to there, you know?
Yeah.
Get the weight and make it a little lighter. But yeah, it is hard to hate up close.
Well, also like show you can see that you're not the only one bearing it. You know, you're not alone with it. There's other people that are carrying the same weight as well. But we forget sometimes. Sometimes you feel so alone.
That'd be a good title for a painting, by the way.
Oh yeah.
Hard to hate up close. I constantly see there goes the artist brain.
Yeah.
I'm constantly thinking of art titles.
I love that.
Do you title all your art?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes it you know, it's the first thing that comes into my mind.
I was just going to ask.
And sometimes it sits. Like
Yeah.
I did these spoonbills again, and I made them very abstracted, and they had pinks and blues. And they were just, I just was free with them.
Yeah.
I wasn't trying to match the couch or anything.
Yeah.
And I just said Rosie on a watermelon high. Like, it was the first thing that came to my brain. I was like, go with it.
Yeah.
The gallery owner, he's like, good.
Okay.
The quirkier the better sometimes.
Yeah.
I pull
like
from
that.
songs and poetry.
I do
a lot.
too.
Do you?
Because I love music. I love poetry.
Music is it just it tells you it gives it to you a lot easier.
It's something that I remember listening to when I was painting it.
Yeah.
And you know, I try to like think through the lyrics and I'll just
I
name it.
love that.
Or like I was doodling in my sketchbook, and right before I went to France, and I was like, it's one of my not angrier paintings, but yeah, maybe so. And I was like writing all these like little words out, like resistance, blah blah, and I just wrote out ripples of resistance, and I had this idea in my head, and so I knew that's what I wanted to do. And then when I got there, it was like the first painting that I did, and I just was like, this is ripples of resistance. And so that was a different way of titling a painting. But
Do you ever have to walk away from a painting that you're doing and then
Every
like
10 minutes.
come back to it?
Yeah.
And do you start other ones while you're in it? Have you done that? Like, I don't know. I'm just trying to.
2 or 3
Yeah.
going at one
you
time.
do that more than I do.
I do it a lot because I'm, you know, like I have this huge piece, 48 by 72, and why I started it, I hate this composition, this size. I think it's cursed. But I've sold that size before, but I just, you know, so I put it away. I'm like, put it in the corner.
Yeah.
I'm like, so
I don't
sick
even
of
want to
it.
look at you
I mean,
right now.
I failed at it 3 times. Like, that's it, you know, but I'm so hard-headed, and I think you would agree. I'm so hard-headed that I will not be defeated by something. Like, you will not defeat me, this canvas. You know, I'm going to conquer this. And
You're going to get
sometimes you just
finished
have
if
to
you
say,
like it or not.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't want to be made today. It's
Yeah.
not what it wants to be. It wants to be something else. So,
Yes.
Well,
don't
you're-
try to force a landscape if you don't. You know.
Your process is a lot more building up layers, and mine is more alla prima, like
Yeah,
painting in
one
one
session.
sitting. And so, because mine is more fluid and gestural, and so it's easier to get that in a shorter period of time.
So you try to commit to finishing
Yeah.
once you start.
But if I don't like it, I'll put it away and not touch it for months. And I'll just paint a complete new painting on top of it.
Yeah.
But a lot of mine are bigger, and so
Yeah.
it's hard to finish in one. So and they're drying and they're doing. So I'm kind of in between.
Yeah.
But the smaller ones I'll finish within a day. But I just don't paint small.
Yeah. Is it
can't.
hard to switch your
Very
brain?
hard. Like I cannot paint small.
Yeah.
Is
Is it
used
hard?
to, I thought, I can't paint that big. How do you do that? No, it's just, oh my gosh. The painting big is like a physical act. It's like you're almost like you're dancing, but it's very exhausting. You know, you're just up high or down. You're using your whole body, and it's so
Thunder
funny.
is insane.
Scary.
That
I felt
sounded
that
like
in
I was
my
gonna. I
chest.
know. I thought we were gonna lose a window or something.
One of the gallery owners, I asked him why they picked me at one of those shows, and she said, you know, I see your energy, and it kind of made me realize, you know, I guess I do have that.
Yeah.
These bigger canvases, but she goes, but I see your passion. I can see that you have passion.
I love that.
Isn't that crazy? Like I
Yeah,
just
that's
wanted
really
to know
cool.
so much.
That's
why
such a
you picked me.
compliment.
Like
Yeah.
why did you pick me out of 100 artists? You know, like
Yeah.
tell me.
I love
But,
that. So when you're working on a piece and then you have to step away, do you work on another piece that same day or no?
just
Can you
depends
switch
on-
your brain like that?
Depends on how you feel. You know, it just depends on what kind of mood you're in.
Depends if you want to squeeze out a whole bunch more paint in a different color palette.
It depends on, do you have the oil out or do you have the acrylic out? you know?
It's more practical than you
So if
think.
I have the acrylic out, I'll maybe go do something that, I'm constantly kind of switching those gears.
Yeah.
I'll usually instead, like if I walk away from painting, instead of starting a new one, I'll go like, if I have to take staples out of a canvas and
Yeah.
I'll go do
Oh, I
that
hate that,
task.
yeah.
Or if I have to frame something, I'll go do that task.
Yeah.
Or,
Nothing like switching art for
yeah.
doing
Yeah.
that.
Sometimes
the
you're
other
exhausted
night.
after that. You're just
Yeah, that's
Oh, I can
exhausting.
imagine.
mentally exhausted
I
from
end up bloody
painting.
fingers, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
I hate taking staples
Oh, yeah.
out of fingers.
Yeah.
Like 200 in a
Oh, you're putting all your creativity, so I can see how it could be like super
Yeah.
exhausting. You
Some
know.
days I swear I go down there and I sit and look at it. It's a big canvas. I might spend the whole day just staring at it. It's so frustrating. I'm staring. I'm thinking through ideas, or I'm thinking, I'm looking and I'm researching things, and I'm just staring at that. It's just staring at me.
Yeah.
Like I can't. Some days it's paralyzing. Because
Some
you
days be
just-
like that, I guess.
You just have to. Yeah, and then other days you create and you go, wow, I did that, man. I'm rocking. I can do this every day.
Yeah.
It's not like that.
Yeah.
You get one good one. And then
I have ADHD, so it's kind of an all or nothing. I'm like, I could do 30 in one day or none for a week.
I have a touch of that, but who knows? But it just depends on how you feel.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just need to allow yourself a timeout.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's healthy. Just with every job, and everything that we do.
You can't be creative 100% of the time.
Exactly. Exactly.
Well, she knows this about me. One of my nerdy things I like to do is when someone has a connection to an animal or they keep seeing the animal over and over again, I'm like, okay, I got to find out. What does it mean? Like, what's a totem? What's a spiritual meaning? And it's so wild because y'all talked about the gray couch, and you're talking about staring at the canvas and waiting for something to come. So it says that your bird, the spoonbill, they represent transformation and renewal. The rosette spoonbill especially is for transformation from a dull gray juvenile to a vibrant pink adult.
Oh my God.
No great couches.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's great.
And can be
Debbie.
That should be, if you ever open up a gallery, it should be no great couches.
Yes. No great, which is a little baby spoonbill on the like.
On the logo. Oh my God, I don't know how many
Oh,
spoonbills
wow.
I've painted. If you look at my Instagram, I'm probably
That's
put them all on there.
amazing.
That is
That's
amazing.
I'm so glad
That's
you
so
looked at
cool.
that.
It goes on to say that they can be seen as a symbol of personal growth, transformation, and renewal. As a
Wow.
spirit animal, the spoonbill encourages you to embrace the changes and transitions in every part of life and to see them as opportunities for growth and self-discovery.
That's destiny.
Okay, that's heavy.
That's amazing.
But see, like, I get goosebumps when
I
I say
already
that.
did, yeah.
'cause
Me too.
When you guys were talking about, like, shared things, and you brought up, like, subconscious, parts of me wonder if, like, some of it's, like, spiritual downloads, like, if it's stuff already in your DNA, or, like, you're pulling it from the divine.
Yeah.
I just think stuff like that's so cool.
Yeah.
I believe it.
That's deep. That's a whole nother discussion.
How can you not after that? That's amazing.
Because you do, without getting too personal, you do go through stages in your life where you are suffering loss. Where both my parents, lost them and I took care of them. Oh my gosh, just I couldn't work in another place where there was dementia patients. Couldn't do it when I first moved here. Or my daughter moved to Minnesota. That was really hard for me. I mean, like I still hurt from that. Like it's hard. She's so far away. Never thought that was in the cards. That's hard. But that's not hard compared to other things that are going on in the world. But
It's
your
your
life
hard,
does. Your life does
Mm-hmm.
change, and your hard is your hard.
Mm-hmm.
It is what it is. But
Yeah.
yes, that's pretty
Wow.
cool.
So there's more spoonbills in your future, Mom.
I guess I need to paint, like my husband said, paint some more birds.
Hey, now you're satisfying the
Now
commerce
everyone
and
listening to this is going to go look at my birds.
Hey,
and-
maybe
Hey, they're great.
Maybe you're pulling out everythe's transformation from
Yeah.
a gray couch to color.
Maybe I
You-
can tell
you
some
never
more stories
know.
about those spoonbills.
Yeah. There's like stories
hot.
left to be untold.
Wow, and they're all called Rosie.
Oh.
Every one of them is called Rosie because I didn't want to. Like I started it and I thought everyone's going to be Rosie's doing a dance. Rosie's eating. They all have little weird titles if you look at them. And then I painted an egret and I named him Earl. So.
That's so cute.
They're all going to be Earl now. I don't know why, but maybe Earl and Rosie will get together. Who knows?
Oh, the love story of Rosie and Earl.
It's so funny that, I painted an egret, and it was so funny because I named it Earl and Family, and I had this egret, and I had these little baby egrets. And I painted it. I thought it was good. And somebody commented, I had the gallery owner call me and say, is this a male or a female? Like, do males feed their young? I said, yes, they do. I researched it before I named them. But it's funny how people that are buying art, that they wanted to make sure that
they're realist
daddy
over here.
feeds the young, you know. And so anyway, of course, the next one came along and said, "I don't want the babies in the painting. Paint me one without."
Yeah. No, I mean, it's important to know the story too, because the first piece of art that Chris and I ever bought together was it was Paul Stanley from Kiss, and he had like a gallery opening. And Chris had saved up and wanted to buy this one painting, and it was just a head with like a mouth open. I know it sounds so weird, with like a really bright purple background. Yeah, it was very, very Chris. And so he was like, I think I want to get this one. I said, okay. I was like, it's your money. Let's do it. So we go up there and we have Paul Stanley sign it. And I said, I would love to know what this piece is about after he signs it, after Chris makes the purchase.
After he bought it.
He goes, oh, yeah, this was the first painting I did after my divorce. And it has a lot of anger. I looked at Chris and just glared at him the whole time. I'm like, we had just gotten married, too. I'm like, we're going to hang this thing in our house. Like, divorce energy.
That is so funny because one of the gallery owners said, don't ever say everything that you think about. Like if someone says, what were you thinking? I'm over here going, I'm going to tell them everything I was thinking because that's me, I want to tell them all these deep, no, because they may not want the sad story, and then they're not going to buy it. But I still believe you should share. Yeah. That's just what I think. People want to know. They want to know they're buying the artists.
Yeah. Would you have bought the painting if you would have known the meaning? Yeah.
Some people might not, and then there's that commerce side.
It wasn't that deep to him.
Chris was just like, this is a cool painting.
But I want to know what the artist is thinking. So.
Yeah. So do you guys feel like you chose your style, or do you feel like the style chose you?
It chose me. I mean, I even tried to change it. I would see a painting that I loved, and I'm like, I'm going to see if I can paint that. And it would always be a fail.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
I think it's just a constant course correct.
Yeah.
Like a constant going back to your true north.
Yeah.
It's always a battle trying to figure out what your personal true north is. And I think you just have to put in the work. You have to put in the miles behind the paintbrush to find it. And then it just becomes this innate, even if you choose, even if I didn't paint a figure and I painted something else, that style and the way that I use the brush or my fingers or a palette knife or whatever, it just comes out of me in that way. But I think it's important to always be pushing yourself and trying new things.
Yeah.
Because I think that's the fun of it.
It's the happy
growth.
And you change. You grow as a person. So there's no way that my art should look the same that it did 10 years ago.
Yeah.
I'm a different person.
And your emotions change. I mean, heck, we're women, so our emotions can change
all the time.
hour by
It's
hour.
not knowing what's going to happen. Like this canvas I just started, I have no idea. I have no idea if this is going to work or not. But I just tried something, and I'm like, oh, cool. Like I wouldn't have known that had I not just done that.
Right.
So it's about exploring, but
and it's about knowing yourself.
Yeah.
That's a really big part of it.
It's being self-aware.
And I think a lot of artists nowadays, especially with social media, and I hope this isn't true, but I feel like it might be, a lot of artists don't take that time to try and figure out who they are and what it is they want to say or why they're doing what they're doing, because it's easy to just put it out there and just paint and put it out there and you get recognition or people want commissions, and so you just and I think that's fine. I think that's okay if you need money and you want to make money and that's working for you, but I don't think that you can really get to a level of, I don't know, really knowing yourself and
I would kind of disagree with that.
Well, that's okay.
I would say you just don't know yourself. Like I still don't know exactly what I want to say and the way I want to say it. Like I still am discovering.
Yeah, but that's my point.
But you have a good sense of who you are.
Yeah.
I think that's what she's trying to say.
Yeah,
I mean, it's
what
like
you wanna say.
you may not know what you wanting to say at the moment, but you still have a good sense of who you are as a person.
Yeah, I didn't know what my art was when I first posted. I was just petrified, and I wasn't really ready, but I knew I needed to.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and you intentionally don't, like you were saying earlier, you don't copy people. You try to find what you are trying to say and what
you're
paint.
open to taking the risk.
Yeah.
Yes.
To go outside
heavy.
of that corner you painted yourself, and I can't believe I just said that.
You're willing to step outside that corner you painted yourself into.
You're never ready to put yourself out there, and like.
I love it. That was perfect.
It's just a journey, and
I feel like if you're not uncomfortable, you're not doing something right.
Yeah.
right, and
that
just like I
maybe
said
is
before,
what I'm trying to say.
Sit in
Yeah.
your discontentment. I remember hearing this artist Jose Trujillo or something, and he's on Instagram, and he'd give these little art talks, little spiritual, inspire you and get off your duff and all this. And he said, you're going to have to just sit in your discontentment for a while. Just go down there and sit in your discontentment. So I would go down to my studio and I would go, I'm sitting in my discontentment, looking at my canvas. I'm
just gonna
but
sit
I'm
here.
And because it takes years, like Jana said, it takes brush miles, and everybody that's an artist knows that you just have to go do. You may fail, you may not. You just have to do it, and then you'll learn, and your style it'll find you working. Yeah.
What I was agreeing with you, Jana, is that I feel like since social media is so out there and everybody's kind of becoming like Insta famous, I feel like there's a lot of art, not just paintings, but music, movies, TV shows, where there's not a lot of depth. It's like they're just like AI and shooting things out
Instant
there or something
gratification,
like that.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it's easy,
Yeah.
and even if people aren't intending to do that, I think it's easy to, you put it out there, you get
Yeah.
instant gratification,
Yeah.
and so you just keep doing that.
Yeah.
Well, maybe that's not, maybe you're not pushing yourself anymore.
Yeah.
And to me, that's what art is about.
Yeah.
Is the process, like you said,
and-
Mom, earlier.
Yeah, and trying to do reels and do what you think Instagram's getting. I'm like,
Yeah.
what am I doing?
Well, that's just part. To
I'm
me,
not- what
I
is
just
this?
consider that office work. That's part
know,
of
but
having a business. Like,
it-
I just have to be the marketer. I have to be the artist. I have to be the.
It does, but then it
the
owns you at
tax
times
person.
too. And like you said, it's like
Yeah.
this is not who I'm not dancing to get likes.
Yeah.
Like you like the art or you don't like.
Yeah, yeah.
There's a fine line. But
Yeah.
you do.
You start becoming just like a little entertainment
Like everybody
monkey,
else,
you know?
I'm like,
yeah.
this is stupid. I'm not doing this.
But I mean, there's a place. If there's a place for that. I mean, the world revolves around
I know, and I don't
money.
like that.
Yeah.
Like,
You have to.
Well, and
you
I
have to
mean,
play the game a little.
our time, unfortunately, we're not doing a lot of face-to-face interaction anymore, you know what I mean? So there's a big part of us, there's a lot of people out there that are kind of losing that authenticity and that depth, so for some people that will be too much. If you have nice deep art, they're going to be like,
But they do respond to you talking about it. You get in front of that camera and you talk about it, which I hate. I'm glad this is not on video. but, I'm not comfortable, and I don't like the way my voice sounds, or I don't like, and I'm like, ooh, but this is so casual. But but it is hard to do it.
It
to
is.
sit there and talk about
It is.
for a million people to see.
I think that people will get burnt out on AI.
Yeah.
And I think that people always ask me, do you think that AI is going to make art and you'll be, they'll take your job? And I'm like, no, I think AI is going to do all the shit that I don't want to do so that I can go make art.
Yeah.
I use AI every single day.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll just do like brain dump of my caption on social media or my email. I'll brain dump it into ChatGPT and I'll,
I think people are already starting to. I mean, I know just me, myself, I can tell when somebody's written me something that's came from chat and when they haven't, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, I think there's a lot, that's like something with her and I, sometimes we get just so like, you're caught up in, and that's why we're having our organization day, is we get caught up in it. We'll rely on chat sometimes, and then you have those critics that are already out there being like, oh, they're using chat GPT, so
It's like digital art.
Well, I think it's a balance.
It's already a thing.
I think it's
Yeah.
a balance of figuring out how to have it support your business.
Yeah.
So that you can focus your time
it's
on
a
things
great
that matter.
tool.
Yeah.
It's a great tool.
Yeah.
But the
Learn how to
whole
use it.
being an artist is about authenticity.
But I
So it's
feel a
keeping
movement
that.
of authenticity
Yeah.
coming
I hope so.
forward,
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
So do you guys have
We
a
need
favorite piece?
Of ours?
Yeah, of your own that you've done
my
yourself.
Current, like, it always changes. So, like, currently, well, yeah, I do
have a piece that I sold, and I I really kind of wish I hadn't sold it. I know where it's at. And I was taking
You're all,
classes.
don't close your eyes at night. I'm just
I was taking classes under, I was looking at Daniel Gerhardt, I think is his name, and he's a master. And he paints light, and he's just fantastic. And I just created my own, like I was painting, I had to come up with the image myself, and those are the hardest things. I had this woman in a window, and there's these panes, and she's looking out, and she's like just looking down, and you can just see this, what is she thinking about?
Yeah.
Like it was so deep, and it just turned out really beautiful. Like I planned it out, and had all my colors mixed and everything, and it just really was a beautiful painting. It had a lot of color, but it didn't, I don't know if you even ever saw it, but I sold it, and it was just one of those paintings that should have kept.
Yeah.
And it was early on too, which
Yeah.
is kind of funny. I have a painting of a mother-child figure that's in the gallery right now that I love. It's just got marks everywhere, and it's colorful, and it's messy, and it's not, and it's chaotic, and it's not, and it's like all the emotions
of motherhood.
motherhood. Depending on what I was feeling that day.
Is it that green one?
It's the green one.
That's
And
my
I
favorite
love
of
that
hers.
painting.
Really?
A lot of people have said that really spoke to them because they, related to it. But that's probably mine.
I have a few from my current collection that I'm showing Saturday.
Yeah.
At
We
my
haven't even talked
show
about it, but we will
at
talk
Clover.
about it.
Wine Merchant,
Yeah.
the 16th, 7 p.m.
Clover Wine Merchant, you said?
Yeah, I did say that.
And where, Perry?
In Perry, in Little Old Perry.
This Saturday?
This Saturday.
At 7 p.m.? Oh my goodness. That is the best wine shop ever.
Anyways, thank you, Mother. I'll pay you later.
I'll be there working, I'm sure.
Yes, you can meet
There's a
them.
few pieces that, and I think because they mean so much to me, and how I painted them, and how they came about, and that's why they mean so much. And one of the pieces is Ripples of Resistance, and that one is spoken for. She'll be heading to Australia after the show. I know, it's really cool.
Wow.
And then the other one is, I called her the fighter. She has these boxing gloves on, and that's a very personal piece for me. There's a lot of meaning that goes into that one.
Ukrainian fighter?
Yeah.
Do you feel like you could share it or no?
Yeah, well, it's just not my story to tell. But there was a woman that was on my residency, and so strong, so amazing. And she shared some of her background and things, really traumatic things that had happened to her, and the causes that were near and dear to her heart. And it makes me tear up because it's just like so powerful what people go through and still have the strength to like fight and carry on the fight for other people. And so that's just like my ode to her and her son. And
oh my gosh, that's
Before you
amazing.
told me about it, like I wouldn't have, the piece went, like if I've seen the piece now and knowing the story, man, it's like so strong and compelling.
That's an amazing connection that you had with her.
Story.
Yeah.
That it spun, I mean, an outward reflection of the respect and the love that you had for her, and just, even though you haven't shared her experience, you saw her through all of it and was able to create that image.
And what's so neat is that I have shared this piece with other artist friends of mine, just like while I was painting it, asking for feedback and critique. And one of my artist friends had no idea what the story was, took a completely different turn from it, and she said, I see myself in this piece as a mother, as a mother, you sacrifice yourself, you sacrifice your body, you're constantly fighting for your children. And I was like, oh my gosh, that would never even cross my mind. But I guess in a way it had, because of this story of this woman that I know. And so that was just so meaningful to me. And that's why it's so important to share your art.
Yeah, and it's like anybody that's standing up and fighting for somebody else that can't fight for themselves. That's how I see it.
Yeah, I think even without knowing the background of it, it's
but
a
that was even
powerful
more
piece.
powerful.
But
Well, or even just fighting for ourselves. You know what I mean? I mean, there's so many of us that don't fight for ourselves. So, I mean,
Absolutely
we can
true.
look at it and see that painting, you know what I mean, and see a little bit of ourselves, you know, fighting for ourselves in it.
So those are the favorites right now.
Yeah. Well, you know my favorite, and I will have some of your art for sure in my house one day. Okay,
I love
I'm not
her
there yet.
also.
I
That
know.
was like a
I know. I just want you to
transformation for me.
I just want you to just
The pink
hide
one.
that one away for me, and then when I can afford it, I'm gonna come get it. Okay.
Oh, I'll be so sad because I stare at her all day. She's right at my computer while I'm doing my computer
I still
work.
like the one with the crunched up. She's crunched up with her knees. And she's
Oh,
like in a box.
the square one.
I love
yeah.
that one. It's like, God, what is
I love that one too.
What is that? What is that?
Yeah, why is she being contained?
Oh, she's
Yeah, like all of us
What's
women,
about to
we're told
happen?
to be a certain way, right?
Yes.
We're put in a box. This is how you're supposed to be.
break the
This is what a
box.
woman's supposed to look like.
Yes.
palette too.
And now you need one busting out of the box.
Yeah, it'll be a series.
Maybe the spoonbill can be on top of the box.
That'll be our giant canvas.
Maybe the spoonbill's going to be relaxing on the gray couch. Smoking a cigarette.
Awesome. Can you imagine?
No, you need to have a spoonbill catching it on fire with the cigarette.
Yes.
Flicking the cigarette onto
Onto the
it, and it's
couch.
just like,
Take that, gray couch. Oh my goodness, I see paintings.
Awesome.
I'm not good at painter, but I've seen this happen.
I love it.
Give him the finger. I'll merge it with Janice.
Looking like slightly back at the camera with a finger.
Oh, yeah, I see it.
Oh.
I love
I know
that.
my gallery would like that.
Find a new gallery.
Find a new gallery.
Yeah, that's right.
That's a private sell.
Yeah,
you
it would be a
can
private
sell
sell.
it. Just
That's
put it
a
online.
collector.
So it
It'd be
will.
one for me.
There'll be so many people who'll be like, my
They would have
kid
no
calls
idea.
them beige moms. You know what? The gray couch beige moms. Like every now and then he's like, are you trying to be a beige mom? Thanks, kid.
Oh my god.
I'll like go pick something for the house. You know, he's like, okay, so you're becoming a beige mom. You know how Kingston is.
These kids nowadays.
Houses should be more weird.
Yeah.
Show you're weird.
Show you're weird.
Yeah.
Show you're fun.
Weird.
Well, just like Sarah shared.
Sure. It's one of those Sarah.
Cumulative.
I know it's It's usually my job.
I know. I stole it. Well, just like Sarah connected to Jana's art. Here we go. I got it, y'all. We did it, guys. Just like Sarah connected to Jana's art, and you guys shared earlier that you both have brains that love to put chaos into order. You're talking about with the games, but you're also very creative. I actually connected more with your art, Debbie, which is kind of cool because your art has this sort of bold, vibrant energy, and at first glance, your colors can feel soft and muted. But when I took a closer look, there is this unexpected, almost kind of punk rock edge in the way you pair and layer them, which is so cool because you brought up colors earlier and the artists that you admire with those bigger, bolder colors. And I was like, that's why my eyes lit up. I'm like, are you like intuitive or what? Because I'm literally about to ask you about this. So if one of your paintings could hang anywhere in the world, like a famous museum, it could be like an historic building or some unexpected public space, where would you want it to be?
I feel like I'm in a pageant.
I know. She always teases me that that's what my questions sound like.
Oh my god. There were no curveballs around.
Gosh, what an honor to hang anywhere in the world. Goodness gracious. Well, I can tell you where I wouldn't want it, but that's for after. After podcast show. Gosh, I don't know. Where's the most admired place for your art to hang? Maybe the Met. I don't know.
That'd be cool.
It just,
The MoMA. Be great.
you know. I mean, it'd be great to be in the White House. Probably not the current one, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know where that would be because it may not be the place. It may be the person that selected it.
Yeah.
It would be more meaningful for somebody that I admire to select it.
I think
Or
it
what
would
it
be
meant
really
to
cool to
somebody.
have like a show in one of those like old, maybe because I just was there, but like an old chateau or an old
That's
like Italian.
That's what I thought one of you guys were gonna say. Yeah.
And because our art is so colorful and so bold in a place like that, it would be so wild to see because like they didn't even have those colors back then. To have your art be in that space, I think that would be really
I can
cool.
answer that, but it would be a different path. It would be down a different road than how you asked it.
Do that. Yeah, tell me.
And this is really personal, and I'll share it. I only share it with a few people, but like my goal, like I want to be a good artist, and I want my art to mean something. I want it to be different, and that's hard to do because everybody's done everything, right? You want to have an individual thought, unique, but I want it to do something good. Like I would love to have a huge painting hanging somewhere at an auction. And it was
like an unexpected public space.
It was
that
a
counts.
fundraiser, and it was going to create this massive, talk, and people were bidding, and all the funds, all the money would go towards something like ending sex trafficking. Because that's like something that just speaks to me. Ever since I moved to Atlanta, I'm like, I got to volunteer, I got to do something, and I did, and I had some experiences with that was just really, really stop you in your tracks to see it up close in your face. But that's a dream of mine, to have like a big piece of beautiful art that it could be just a figure hasn't come to me yet. But I would love for that to that would mean more to me than hanging somewhere.
Yeah, I agree.
For people to just look at, that it was going towards something.
Yeah.
But I haven't gone down that. I've tried different things, and it's in the back of my head.
I mean, I can see it when you're describing it. It's so powerful.
It's just in the back of my head somewhere, living.
No, I prefer the way you answered that. I love that. That was a perfect answer.
I'd rather it be that, because that would be like my dream.
That
would be who cares what who cares what the White House thinks? Who cares what the Met thinks? Who cares? Really, at the end of the day.
It's punk rock.
It's punk rock. I've never heard anyone call it punk rock. But I'll take it.
Yeah.
Where would yours hang?
Well, you said auction, and I was thinking about, as kind of another plug, when I lived in Birmingham, there was this art studio called Studio by the Tracks, and it's an art studio for autistic adults. And so they go there pretty much every day, and then their big fundraiser at the end of the year is local artists or artists pretty much from wherever would donate work, and then it would be mixed in with the studio artist work. And so you have all this different work, and then they do this big auction.
Wow.
And the donating artists, their pieces sell, but honestly, the pieces that sell the most at the end of the night are the ones from the studio artist. And I've been fortunate enough to support them and donate art. Yeah, I'm anytime I can buy the art and give it away. No, but it's such a good cause, and I don't think they did the auction part this year, but there's a place in Macon, two places that are working together now. ARC Macon it helps adults with disabilities have pride in their work and give them individuality and let them live by themselves, and then ARC partnered with Art Space Macon, and it's these two wonderful women, and now they are doing art classes for adults with disabilities.
Oh, cool.
And I've been able to volunteer and do some classes with them, and I think it just stems from
you see
taking me to your work when we were younger, and it's that compassion that you.
And that makes me happy.
I think, like you said, Ren, it's like DNA. It's just passed down.
You can't get away from it.
But that's a way to, you're not a physical therapist anymore, but you're an artist, and there are all these ways to give back and to, how to make these people have purpose and because they're so good too. They're so good at it, and it's so amazing.
And you should.
It's so amazing to see. Some of them aren't even verbal, but their art are just masterpieces.
That's so amazing.
So that's a really cool place to have your art displayed.
Means something.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree 100%.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure ARC Macon is a 501c3, so you can donate to them.
They are.
Everybody go out.
We need to go. That sounds so cool.
I can see us combining efforts one day to do something.
We should.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. And raise awarenesses. See, my time lapse idea.
Yeah.
Your little. Yeah. It could be for art.
Yeah, for a cause.
Yeah. It doesn't look a great cause.
No, yeah, for sure. So, what do you guys do to get into that creative space after being heavy in the 3D world? You know what I mean? Where we're just kind of seeing life in gray couches.
Yeah, I think it's different. every day. It depends on where my energy level is at currently and where my headspace starts. Sometimes I need more of a jump start than other times, and sometimes I just need to not. I need to know when to not do it.
That's probably more important.
Like I said, I'll fix a cup of coffee and I'll doodle in my sketchbook. Sometimes I'll get on my iPad and I have a little bit of a graphic design background, so I'll use my iPad a lot just to like play with color and to play with some forms that I'm looking at, just to give me some sort of base to start off with. But music is a big one for me.
Yeah.
If I'm not feeling the energy, I have to find the right music, and I don't always listen to the same music. Sometimes it's the opera, and sometimes it's like Fetty Wap, you know? It's like,
Hey, you know what? Fetty Wap has got us through some hard times, okay?
I just said Fetty Wap.
Okay, I don't know what Fetty Wap is. So there you go.
Sometimes
I have no idea.
Sometimes it's Michael Jackson.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for aging me. Well, that's not going to get enough. That's okay. Okay.
What's your...
Gosh, I go for little walks with my wonderful little dog, Oscar. We have a little duck pond behind our house in Atlanta, and we go over there and I just sometimes sit in the park with him and look up at the sky and look at the shadows, and I'll zoom in on like the microscopic, little tadpole in the water, and there's a whole world in there, and it just gets me outside my head a little bit. But I love music, but I just have to go outside, be in nature. I was a Girl Scout for lots of years. And I love that. I love being outside. Just kind of unclogs your pores, your thoughts and everything. You can breathe.
Yeah.
I think looking at other great art too is always inspiring.
Oh, absolutely.
Museums. I wish we had. I wish I lived where there were more museums.
Department
Museums are
stores,
great.
love looking at fabrics.
Yeah.
I love patterns and the way they're put together. I can just stop it. My husband's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Look at this! Look at look at these! This is beautiful."
Yeah, like what inspired these
He's
colors?
colorblind, so he doesn't even know.
The irony.
Poor thing, the irony. I know, and he'll come down and critique my art. I'm like, who are you?
Yeah, but
Can't even see half of it.
He's always right.
he's
about
usually
everything.
right.
It makes me so mad. How
usually
go upstairs.
Yeah.
It's probably because he knows you enough, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A kid with him, I'm like, how do you know what color I am?
He's not that blind.
Yeah, I know he's not that blind. We have a lot of fun, laughing a lot.
I love that.
But he's very supportive. So, but yeah, talking to your daughter about art,
Honestly,
we'll
that's a
bounce
big
each other,
one. Like if you're staring at a canvas and you feel like you're not an artist that day, you'll call me and you'll be like,
I go, what are you doing?
I'm an artist, right? And I'm like, yes, you're an artist. Just pick up the damn brush and just go to
Yeah.
work.
And we'll give each other. It's funny because it always comes along at the right time. Like she goes through, and I'll say something to get her off her duff or whatever.
Yeah.
And she'll do the same. But
That's
and
awesome.
having artist friends. I have the best friends. They're artists that just are so giving, and they're great to hang out with. And we can call each other and say, "Hey, what do you think about this?" Or if you're stuck. They're just the most giving, sharing group of people.
Yeah, without competition,
Yeah, no competition whatsoever. And it's like I tell people, they think I'm this established artist, and I'm really not. It appears that way from the outside. I don't see myself that way, but I'm going to help anybody I can that's behind me, because I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know how to use QuickBooks. I didn't know about taxes. I didn't know how to run a business. I just didn't know what I didn't know. And so I would, rely on other people, and I asked them questions. I would just please answer, and I would just cold call, or ask them if they were nice to me on Instagram. I would message them, and they were so giving. And so there are always people ahead of you, and there's always people behind you.
Yeah.
You just have to remember that and help anybody you can.
I'm working on that too, because I'll be hesitant to reach out to someone and ask for help or ask a question. I'm like, I don't want to bother this person. But I've really been trying to push myself to do it this year. And then when the other person texts back or picks up the phone, they're almost like so excited you reached out.
Yeah.
And if they ignore you or ghost you, then they're just not your people.
Yeah.
There are other people
I
out
was
there.
intentional this past week. There's a new artist in the gallery in Atlanta, and she was so excited. It was her first gallery, and I thought, she's probably, feels very vulnerable, and so I said, I don't know you, I missed your show, but let's have lunch, let's go have coffee or something. And so we're meeting next week, and I thought, if I can help her anyway, maybe she can help me. But man, it's collaborating.
Yeah.
That's key.
I have so many Instagram friendships with artists.
Yeah, I
which
do
is funny.
too.
Like we live in different towns, and I've seen them maybe once or twice,
I
or
know.
maybe not at all. But anytime I have a question or anything, and they're so supportive.
Yeah.
Even just like, oh, I know how the game works.
There's no
I know you need
competition.
engagement. I'm just gonna make a comment every time you
Yeah.
post something because I'm the same way. And
Yeah.
it's just this understanding. And I think people are just a lot
You truly,
nicer.
you truly celebrate their wins. You know, and that's what it's about because nobody paints the same. They're all everybody's different. Had a good friend that just won an award with the AIS, American Impressionistic Society, Anne Spivey. She was best pastelist, and I mean, just what a. I was like almost crying when I saw it on Facebook Live. I was watching it, and I was so excited for her. She worked hard for that. Like,
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Celebrating
So
like
I just,
friends.
yeah.
There's just enough good to go around.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know,
Absolutely.
so happy for people that win. You know, share the wins.
Yeah. Well, speaking of good go around, that leads us into
Oh, another pageant question. Another pageant question. What candy bar would I
This is
be?
what all those pageants did for me. Mom. Carmen is coming for me.
I feel my
Yeah, you
feeling
can start
sweaty.
that.
My legs are sweating.
This is actually kind of cool. This is an Unbridled Thoughts imaginary challenge.
Oh.
So, for imagine, I'm going to have you guys both swap houses for a month, and you have to create a piece on the wall of the other one's residence. You have to choose a medium, a subject, or a style for the day that's not typically your own. What would you create in the other person's place?
I love this question. This is a little pageantry, but I love it. This is one of my favorites.
So what would I create
I feel like I know already.
at her house that's
Yes.
not in my style?
Yeah, you could do a whole wall. You could do a canvas.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
I would
You could do a sculpture, whatever y'all want to
Oh,
do.
there's no telling. There'd be like probably some dark-sided people.
I would pick, so she lives in a townhouse that's like 3 stories. I would pick the wall with all your pictures that you just hung, your gallery wall going up the
Oh, yeah,
stairs.
yeah.
And it's like a 2-story space. And I think I would embrace, I've always wanted to do this with my art. I would embrace my engineering side and do like a, like geometric kind of like lines and, an artist in residence with me, she does lines and dots and she rolls the dice, and if it's a 6 then she does like 6 dots, and if it's a 4 she does 4 dots, and I'm like, oh, that just cures something in my like OCD brain.
I would hate that.
And I would do that, and it would be so meditative.
I would feel like I had a Sudoku
Yeah.
or whatever the heck that thing is. I feel like every time I went to bed, I'd have to pass this puzzle.
That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, it would be so cool.
No.
They're really cool.
She's like, I
pieces.
don't have the math degree.
Yes.
Gosh, I don't know. I don't know if I would be painting something that you would like or that I would like. Something that, because that obviously is not something I would like. But I don't know. I would probably paint something on the wild side for your house, over your fireplace. I don't know. It would have to tell a story, but it would have a lot of imaginary creatures.
Like Shel
love that.
Silverstein.
Something, something whimsical and something just totally out of the box because
love
that's
that.
how she is.
Yeah.
And she doesn't, it's just something unexpected, you
Like
know?
a little bird setting a couch on
Yeah,
fire.
who knows? Yeah.
with the
weirder
cigarette,
the better.
smiling and flipping on.
It would have to be like weird on another level.
Yeah.
But it would be beautiful.
Yeah.
My husband would probably hate it, but I'd like it.
But I can kind of see it right now in my head, which is really sick.
Thanks, Ren.
Thanks, Ren, for the dot.
That's what you're getting for
Thanks for the dots
Christmas. You
and the
ruined the
lines.
Christmas gift.
The geometric,
Ooh, I'm so excited.
over that.
And you're going to get Dyson lines,
Yeah,
okay?
Hey,
very
it's
much.
really cool art. Y'all should go check her out.
No.
You're like, is this Jax? What are we playing here?
Yeah. Like, who did this?
People ask me, they're like, "Oh, so you have like a math background? Do you incorporate that into your art?" I'm like, "No, I'm running as far away from that as I can."
Yeah,
It's fun to embrace it.
It's weird, like, because I went to school for civil engineering, so it's kind of
my
like the
gosh.
same thing. It's like,
Yes.
it's like, there's a part of me, and that's what it's so weird, because I feel like in our artistry of our podcast, she comes up with these like crazy elaborate, like
she does.
in-depth, like pageantry questions, and I'm like, Ren, we need to know who the human is.
But I kind of like that. Like, you're pushing us a little over. It's a good balance.
so it's like
got a little
good
sweaty
because it's like I get to put that
like it.
engineer brain to rest a little bit because if she didn't bring that, I'd be like, okay, we got to make sure we're asking questions that are over the top. But she just does it for me, so I'm like,
it's
so
like her
sweet.
second nature, I think. Well, she is married to Chris. So I
Yeah.
keep calling him that.
My engineer brain shows in my business when you look at the graphs that I
Yes.
have saved
Oh
on my
my
computer for
gosh,
my pricing.
Yes.
There's
I would
curves and graphs. All this.
No.
Well, you were
I
saying
wrote it
a
down in
few
book.
things. I was like, yeah, that's where she's putting all her education at.
Yeah, she is. But
Like,
no,
I sit
not
down at
for
the
me.
computer at first, and I'm like, okay, not what most artists are saying. You know what I mean?
I'm a millennial
Didn't know what
artist.
she was going to say.
It's a new way.
I was like, she still has that engineer brain in her.
Yeah,
I
it just
do.
shows parts of you that may like. That's why I love asking questions. That kind of reveals parts of you that maybe you don't have an opportunity to answer a question like that.
Right.
And then you kind of get to know. I get to know another part of you, and you get to know another part of yourself too.
And
Yeah,
you
we
don't
love
answer it
that
the way
part
you
of
think
you.
you would have
Yeah.
when you're asked on the spot.
I don't ever want you to think
You
when I
answer it
say that it's bad.
Yeah,
Like
that's
when you asked me that, I was like, you know, about where my art would hang. Like, you know,
yeah.
it
It's
makes you
challenging
realize like
sometimes.
what really matters to you. It's like when people ask you, what's the thing you'd grab in your house if it was on fire?
Yes.
You know, it makes you on the spot go, ooh, what really matters? You know, my dog.
I was just going to say, I just need all my dogs and my babies out.
Sorry,
Okay,
anybody else?
that's
Grab
it. My dog's first.
My dog is first.
Well, I had a few more questions to ask you, but we only have time to ask one more, and then we want to spend the rest of our time promoting the show.
Yes.
So, because that's the most important thing. So, I'm going to let you promote the show first. I want you to tell us a little bit about that, and then I'm going to ask you guys a question afterwards.
Okay. So the solo exhibition that we were talking about earlier at Clover, it is called A Room of My Own. It's a spin off of Virginia Woolf's A Room of One's Own. Yeah, and so, you know, in her essay, she says a woman just needs a salary and a room of one's own, you know, to be successful. And when I was in residency in France, I was given this room of my own, this studio space.
So cool.
Yeah, and I'm going to talk more about it at the show opening. But yeah, and so it's just talking about what happens and what can come about when you are given that space, when you're given that freedom, the freedom in your art to just express what you want to express, whether it's, you know, a bird, flipping a bird, or if it's something beautiful and soft, and kind of those two emotions warring against each other a bit, and what that was like and that experience was like for me when I was there. And the people, it's really about the people that I met. And so a lot of the paintings that you'll see the models are my fellow residents, which is just really
So
neat.
cool.
And so I have stories and I have memories with each of them. But yeah, that's what it's about. So it's this Saturday, the 16th, from 7 until whenever, at Clover Wine Merchant in Perry. So I will be there. I'll be excited to see everybody. Mom will be there. I'll be putting her to work as she puts me to work at all of her shows.
And it's free.
It's free, yes.
Big push
Yeah.
there. It's free at 7.
Yeah, free wine and non-alcoholic drinks, charcuterie. Yeah, there'll be big paintings on display and available for purchase, but also a lot of small ones, studies that I did when I was there, so paintings that I did when I was in France, and then paintings and sketches that I've done since I've been back.
So lots of price points. So
Yeah,
affordable
because,
art.
Yeah, art should be available to
And
everybody.
it is. She's got some great work.
Yeah.
And it's a great way to support a local business and a local artist.
Yes,
Yeah.
Yes.
A Perry girl.
Yeah,
And
that's
I hear
right.
the wine's going to be French too.
No, I'm not sure about
Maybe since you were in France.
Now, really
think
quick
it's just gonna be
before
good.
we move on with the question two, do you guys want to share your socials so people can
Yes.
find you guys and find your
sure.
art?
Sure. Mine's Debbie Moore Fine Art on Instagram, and that's my website as well, and Facebook, Debbie Moore Artist.
I love that. I need to follow you.
Yeah, my Instagram is at jana.spillers. My website is just janaspillers.com. My Facebook is Jana Spillers Fine Art. And I have I send out like monthly emails, blogs. You can sign up for that on my website as well.
I have an email, but I probably send it out only once or twice a year. But it's all good.
Well, the last thing I want to ask you guys is, what is your favorite moment in art history but I don't want a basic answer. I want was there a
Of course you
time?
don't.
I know. Is there a time that a piece of art changed people's minds, possibly saved lives, or something like that, or revealed something to people that, like when you read about a painting that you loved? Oh, I just saw this and I loved it, and then you read about the history of it. You were like, oh my gosh, I had no idea. Like something like that.
I don't know. I think that I don't know the name. I don't know the specific painting, but I know Van Gogh. I didn't realize until I really looked into his career and the exhibition that they had in Atlanta, the depression that he suffered, and his last days, and they say, he ripped off his ear. I don't know if he actually did it or someone else did, but just the that period, learning about that and the struggles that some of these artists went through. I don't know if that really changed. It may have. It did for me when I learned about it. I don't really know of a period though in time when art changed people's minds about something. I think when artists may have taken on the role of using their art as a voice. Probably at the end of World War II. I know I've seen some of that work. It probably changed some people's mindsets about really what was going on. But I don't know enough about a specific piece or time.
I mean, I can answer it maybe not exactly what you want, but I was looking up on my phone because I was trying to remember the artist that I found. And
You were cheating.
no, it's just it's an artist. It's really cool, and I don't know anything about the artist.
Oh, and there's no right way to answer this question.
Art, but
Yeah, it's not
I
a tough
wanted
question.
to talk about this artist because I was drawn to this artist. So we did a day trip to Troyes, France, and there was an artist. We went to the museum there, and his work was everywhere. And I was like, who is this artist? I've never heard of this artist. And so I researched him afterwards, and turns out he only he's from Troyes, and he only has his art there. And so you would not know this artist. And it is so good. And he's also a glass artist. Maurice Marino is his name. And his family members had his entire collection and donated it to this museum. And I think that's so cool,
interesting.
right?
Cool, yes.
Sorry, I know it's not like what you asked,
No,
but that
that's
is
fine. You
so
answered it better than I
cool.
asked it, for sure.
And I also think, totally different, I think Basquiat is so cool. And I think his art is so brave. And it's unlike anything what anybody was doing at the time. I mean, someone gave him a space of his own and time, and he just went to work. And he was like, this is who I am. And people are like, what are you doing? And he's like, this is my art. I'm calling this art. You can accept it or not. And then, he's extremely famous now, and his work is shown all over the place. It's just so brave.
That's really
And I think that's historic.
Yeah, I think that whole abstract expressionism movement really gave people freedom to be more expressive. Art was not just about a scene. But.
All right, well, manager's calling it. He's been giving us the look. So with all of that, we thank you guys so much, you
thanks for
ladies, you
having
beautiful
us.
ladies, for coming on
We've
and
loved
visiting with
this.
us.
It's been
And
fun.
we are, of course, going to be there Saturday. We're actually going to be supporting two of our guests that we've had on here. So we're going to go to your event, and then we're going to the next event afterwards.
Yes, that's
back
what Chris
to
told
back.
me. That's so cool.
Yeah, so
I
we're
listened
super
to that
excited.
episode.
Yeah,
That's
it was
amazing.
a fun
Yes.
one. I fell in love with them. I didn't know they were so deep. But with that, that's a wrap.